This is the story of Alex. Alex was a young adult who found something he should not have. Alex went to a house. Alone. The house was a lonely and dark place. It was silent in the middle of a dead field. Nothing could grow. Nothing could live. The house stood high into the sky, infecting the scenery with its decay. Its abandoned majesty drew people young and old to come and explore. But he was the first. He was the first of the deaths. It was early on a Sunday morning. Alex lived next to a farm where he woke up to the sounds of animals every morning. He lived in a small house. He lived alone. He only had 4 rooms in his house. A living room, a kitchen, a bathroom and a bedroom. He was rarely so he still had moving boxes filling his living room. He did not have a closet. Only a box he pulled clothes out of and a pile of dirty clothes. Alex takes a glance out of his window and has seen the house standing there with multicolored graffiti snaking up the walls and onto the roof, where there were birds circling the location. The house itself looked as if it was intact. The windows were not broken. The doors were still locked. Alex pulled on a shirt and left the house, not even stopping for breakfast. This is the last time he would leave this house. Alex walked for about 5 minutes along his street until he came to a row of hedges. He tracked along the hedge line looking for a way through. He found a public footpath sign entangled in brambles. The path looked so unused and as if people had avoided it. Alex used his feet to stamp down the thick brambles that were blocking his path. He walked over them carefully, trying to make sure none of them hurt him. He passed through the hedge and then there was a dry field. It had nothing growing or living on it. The field stretched for miles. Alex roamed along it in the blistering heat. The sun was constantly on his left side, making him sweat profusely. Alex kept strolling. His t-shirt that was once dry now had pools of sweat forming. His legs ached from the walking. He had been traveling for a while now. He slowly came to the end of the field at dusk. The sun was beginning to set. The house was illuminated by the orange glow of the day coming to an end. There was a fence with a hole in it where the path to the house began. The path was covered in weeds and overgrown as if it had not been used in years. Alex stood at the edge of the property. He watched it. He saw the inside was dark. It looked as if it had not been touched since the owners left. Alex circled the location, looking for a way inside. He found a hole in the front door. It was a small hole, but was just the right size for him to slide through. Alex climbed to his feet to discover the first room in the home. Darkness consumed the house. Alex turned on his torch to find that the inside of the house was intact. He appeared to be in the kitchen. It was a small room with only a fridge and a microwave. Both bounced the light of his torch back at him. The floor was covered in mud and leaves. Alex went through some drawers to try and see if anything was in there. He found that the people that lived there before had just left the house. They didn't take a thing. For some reason the family that was there decided to just leave. Alex decided to move to the next room where there was a living room with pictures on the walls and big windows that gave a good look around at the fields. However, it was dark, so all Alex could see was darkness. The pictures looked as if they were old, and the family from them looked happy. Then Alex turned around to find an old TV, one of the old ones from the 70s with the dial on. The sofas had big black stains on them, and Alex saw they were not water and did not want to think about what they were. Alex turned and went to the next door. This led into a staircase where there was single set of stairs leading up to the next floor. Alex shined his torch up the stairs and caught glimpses of other doors and other pictures making their way up the stairs. Alex went up the carpeted stairs. Each step creaked under his weight. He got to the top of the stairs and there were 2 rooms on a corner. 2 doors at a 90-degree angle and one door was boarded up. It had thick wood blocking the entrance. However, the bottom of the door was broken. Alex got on his hands and knees and looked through the hole into the room. He shined his torch in and saw there was a bed with restraints on that looked as if they had been torn. There were huge scratches on the walls. Alex then looked at the door and saw that it had been broken outward. Something had pushed its way out the room. Alex got up and heard a something downstairs. He got scared someone might have seen him, so he ran up to the top of the house where there was a single room with one window facing his home. He could see his lights were on in his room. There was someone in there. Then he saw someone in the field where he had walked with a torch standing still, just pivoting on the spot. Alex began to ring the police, then saw the blue flashing lights in the distance. Maybe one of his neighbors had called the police. Then he saw that the police car had stopped on his street. He saw the police run out of their car and into other houses. Then there were flashes in the windows that looked as if they were gunshots. A second later Alex heard 2 distinct cracks. He knew they were being shot. The flashes went from house to house. Alex watched from that window. He was so far away, so helpless. All he could do was watch as everyone he knew was killed and the gunshots got further and further away as the police went house to house killing everyone. He heard a shot that sounded so far away and then nothing. Not even the sirens could be heard anymore. There was nothing except the night. Alex stopped and remembered that he heard someone downstairs. He sat on the floor and felt his eyes closed. Alex woke up. It was not long later, except now he could hear the sound of static coming from the TV downstairs. Alex got up and looked out the window to see his town was on fire. The sky was orange with thick black pillars of smoke. He could not make out any of the buildings. Only fire. Only death. Alex looked at the ground below and saw there was cars of all descriptions, however most noticeable was the police cars. He saw all these cars but could not hear any talking. Alex slowly crept out the room and went back down to the 2nd floor, still not turning his torch on. He walked along the landing to find there was a white light leading down the stairs back to the 1st floor. Alex slowly crept along the landing to the top of the stairs to try and catch a glimpse of the person who turned the TV on and if anyone else was down there. He could not hear anything, so he decided to creep down the stairs, going as slowly as possible because he did not want to make too much noise. The steps make a quiet squeak as he slowly stepped on each one. He got to the bottom and looked through the hinge into the living room to find that the TV had been turned to face the door and had static on it, just as he suspected. He then heard a sound from upstairs that sounded like someone standing on a floorboard. He put his head slowly around the corner to look up the stairs to try and see who it was, but all he saw was the red glow of someone standing there. He ran for the kitchen to try and escape. He He ran so fast, and to his credit he did not scream. He has been the only one so far that has not screamed. Alex got to the kitchen. He did not see the other person behind him. He did not see who ended his life. After Alex slowly bled out, we pulled him out of the house. The others were waiting. At the back of the house we have a giant pile of timber where we placed him. After we burned the town, it is time for one last sacrifice. We put his body on a stake and erected him in the middle of the pile. One of my brothers lit a match. We all chant, "May the fires cleanse your impurity."